What's up, guys? It's been a while. It's been a while since I recorded. Um, it's been about a good couple of months. Say about half a year, really. Just got done eating. And tell me something y'all notice anything. I noticed that the food, eh, whether it's fast food, whether it's restaurants, whether it's anything you ordered, whether it's through an app, you go into your favorite restaurant, you notice, the food that you usually eat, that you enjoy eating. You would describe the taste, the warmth, the everything. In this day and age, even after COVID, if y'all notice the food is not as good as it used to be. For example, me and my wife just went to Dave's Hot Chicken today. Um, we both got our sandwiches and everything. I got the non-spice. I wasn't really into the spices today. Been into it. The chicken wasn't even, how would I describe it? It's not even, wasn't even that. It was like it was done, but not seasoned right. Like the crust was super hard, like it was trying to. And the sauce, the sauce was good and everything, but it's just, and my wife, she said the same thing. She even said the fries were burned. I don't know that this ain't the only experience that me and her and my mom had. We all had this experience now for about a good 3.5 years, even longer. It's almost like the food nowadays in restaurants are not that good. I started going to every once in a while I'll go out to if I'm at work and I'm nowhere near a restaurant and I didn't eat nothing at all that day because there are mornings I don't eat breakfast. I would stop at a gas station, whether it's Wiggy's or whether it's Mapco or Pilot, one of them, and I would give me a little chicken tenders or any of that. Some of their food is good, but there are days at this point where I'm just now kind of like saying, yeah, the food is just not good like it was. So I don't know what's really going on. It's getting to the point where it's like, you know, my wife and my mom are constantly telling me about the food that they order is not good, and I'm kind of like, I'm not surprised no more. I don't know. You just get to the point where you can no longer you can't even enjoy the food that you once enjoyed when you first discovered them. Like when me and my wife went to, and I think me and my mom went, I think all three of us went to Whataburger in Nashville. This is about whew, 3.5 years ago, or it might be 2.5 years ago. And the food was good. That was our first time ever trying Whataburger. Whataburger, sorry. And it was great. And then when they finally built two restaurants, a Whataburger here, um, it was great at one point, but then me and my wife sat down and ate in there, and we both realized something is we didn't we felt sleepy right afterwards. And I said to myself, there's something really off with that. You know, I don't usually get that tired right after eating. You kind of feel like you took melatonin. It's almost like that. So yeah, I just realized the food today, man, it's just not. Whether you cook it yourself, I got to the point now. I think people should just, and it's not just me that's saying this. It's everybody. It's not just my family. It's almost everybody is saying that the food is just not that great. No matter what fast food restaurants try to promote, like new sandwiches, adding more stuff to their menus, I just can't shake the feeling anymore that I don't think food is that great, man. I don't think it is. Then the more I go on Instagram, because I have dug into the rabbit hole, finding out some of this food we're not supposed to be consuming because The restaurants are getting away with stuff where they're adding, and I do believe that there's human remains in fast food. Reason why it's so damn cheap. But now they want to raise the price up. And this is, matter of fact, this grape juice, this is like a kosher brand. I forgot the name of it. That's actually real organic grape juice. And I found out something about that too. If you see a U, I'm just now learning about this stuff recently. If you see a U on any of the stuff you shop at the grocery store, it went through a different process. And this grape juice here, I forgot the name of the brand. I think the brand is spelled Kadem. It's a Jew, and it's in a kosher section in the international aisle. You might see this grape juice. Look at the very bottom, whether it's the left or the right corner, and there's a kosher sign on it with a U, and they have another symbol as a K. A lot of Jewish people order that type of food. So you know it's going to be clean food because it went through a natural process. Now, that's just a little bit of the rabbit hole that I went into. But yeah, then I started looking into, just to go a little bit deeper. Um, I started noticing a lot of these fast foods are promoting meat at a faster rate. And a lot of people are asking the question, how are they producing this much meat consumption? They're producing this much, and there's not enough cows in the world. And that has been bothering me for years. I could tell you there's not enough chicken to, to consume, and you're seeing new chicken joint restaurants being built every day. So, how is it that they're able to get their hands on the chicken? You know, then of course you gotta forget there is lab grown meat, which is everywhere. Then of course some of the organics brands that me and my wife used to get, but now we're finding out, you know, some of the organic brands are now being sold to these bigger corporations that sell Coca-Cola products, Pepsi products, um, some of the big pharma companies. Like my wife's favorite bread was Dave's Killer Bread, and it used to be organic, but then I found out about a year ago that they have sold out. They've completely sold to corporate. And there's been several people on Instagram that even pointed out otherwise. And there's even been a viral video pointing out that there were actual wood chips inside the bread. So it's getting to the point you can't even, now you got to really be careful about what you shop, what you're shopping for and stuff. You know, salmon, you got the lab, you got the farm raised salmon, which is not the actual salmon. It is salmon, but it's just that it went through a completely different process. It's just been farm raised. It hasn't really been in the wild wilderness. And that's where you would get the best fresh when it comes to fresh seafood. But now in this day and age, you gotta really watch what you're eating, and then on top of that, you gotta read the back of the labels because I don't know why all of us are so quick to say, I always look at the back when I pour like I was double checking, even if it did had a symbol on it. I said, no, let me double check. And it was 100% grape juice. And then if you look at all the other juices on the back of the labels, some of it barely has 10% of fruit. Some even have 1%, which made me say, so what's the 99% of it that we're consuming? Then on top of that, processed food, you know, it's everywhere. It's almost like if you could just remove things from the grocery store, almost 80% of it you can remove. And you'll have your basic necessities of produce, the actual meat, and there's not that many manufacturers, there's not that many farmers. And to be honest, if you even buy a farmer's, if they even have it in a grocery store, some farmers do sell their stuff in the grocery stores, but you would have to pay a high price just to get it. So I don't know, guys. It's the more I see restaurants, I'm not really excited for it no more. I kind of I kind of just lost I really just lost interest. I said I'd rather cook at home. And that's all I've been doing. I rather cook at home at this point. I'm starting to get more into meal preps, because I work out several times a week and I'm working independently a lot. So I'd rather learn how to cook my own dishes instead of going to a restaurant. And then let's not let's not forget about not just the rabbit hole of conspiracy, but also the customer service that you encounter on a regular. And I'm gonna just say this: we all know that those folks don't wash their hands. People who you serve. The one thing I always think in the back of my head every time I pull up somewhere, be like, please tell me you're not gonna spit in my food. You make sure you sanitize, because let's face it, you got a lot. That's a lot of money that we're investing in, and to have a really bad experience afterwards with regret. So I've learned today that I'm not going to some of these restaurants anytime soon. You know, it's getting to the point where I can't even. It's almost like I don't know if it's corporate cutting corners at this point. They're taking certain ingredients out. Oh, and I even found out one of my favorite season brands, the Makaki, the MC season brand, they sold out to corporate recently. So now they're going to be adding all sorts of preservatives and any other type of substance in it. So now I got to stay away from that brand. So you can't even get natural season. Like you just want onion powder, garlic powder, um, dill, oregano, basil. You can't even get those without some type of compound in it. It's just making everything. I don't know. Here in America, man, it's just getting harder. You can't even enjoy the food that you once did as a kid. I'm reading that certain restaurants back in the '80s and '90s, even back in the '70s, they used to use animal lard to fry their food. And people said that was the best tasting fries back then. They were using animal fat to fry French fries in. And I've been thinking about it. Then my wife told me that her mom used to make biscuits with lard. And I forgot was it her grandmother or mom. It was, everybody was telling me all this stuff. And I'm kind of sitting there going, you know, what made what made food back then so great, but why is it so shitty now? You know, I don't know, guys. It's just I've been seeing a lot of disappointment. I've been seeing a lot of corporate just cutting corners even more, making it obvious. I don't drink Gatorade. I don't drink none of those sports drinks because ain't no telling what's in it. And to be honest, if you want a good sports drink, just get pickle juice because your body's losing electrolytes, and pickle juice has a lot of electrolytes in it. When you sweat, you're losing a lot of natural salt. Even celery juice can help you with that. So I don't know. I just don't know what it's getting to the point we're going to have to start learning how to grow our own food eventually. Now, of course, there are some states that are banning that. Almost like they don't want you to be healthy at all. They just want you to be sick. I don't want to go too deep into that subject because, man, you'd be surprised how many times. See, as an independent contractor, I'm a medical technician, and I have to go up in folks' house and replace the respiratory oxygen cylinders. And you'd be surprised how many sickly people I run into day after day. Some of them, you know, some of it could be their fault, but most of it's in the environment they live in, and some of it's the environment they came from, really. I'm just seeing that the natural food that we used to have is so bad to the point. Nobody doesn't want to go near it. And there's even, lab grown food, lab processing food. It's just getting to the point, you know, you can't even escape this. So I think my best advice, if I even have advice to give you guys, I don't want to waste no more of this video, but I want to say this though. I think I think it's just time for us to just cook at home. You know, grandparents used to say, I think my grandparents used to say back in the day, going to restaurants was like an event for us. We only go like once a month. Rest time they're cooking at home, which I think we should go back to that. It should go back to that blueprint. Cook your own recipes at home. Everybody's grandmother, everybody's grandparents got some sort of cookbook laying in their house somewhere or in their grandparents' house. Your aunt have this rich recipe book. Your uncles have a recipe book. I'd rather learn how to cook it than sitting in a restaurant knowing I'm not going to get the best service. I'm not going to get the best tasting food. I know I'm going to be paying an arm and a leg just to get it. You think my overall satisfaction is I don't even get to the point I don't even complain no more. If you give me bad food and shit, I'm not coming back. It's like, okay. No more arguing. And this is my word of advice, don't even argue. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it, in my opinion, at all. Because what's it going to do? It's just going to encourage them to do it more to other folks. You know, they're not getting enough. They're not getting enough rest on their job. The job is making it worse for them, causing them more stress. Ain't no telling what's going on with them. And yet they're cooking your food, so you don't know is the food gonna be good? You know. Now people with food trucks and everything, they got a different attitude. Um, Food Vibes is one of those places I like their oxtails. There's a food truck here in Chattanooga called Food Vibes, and they got one of the best oxtails. I've always wanted to go back and get their oxtails. Um, I think they got something else I haven't tried, but it's just that. And then I'm looking at, and then not just food truck, you got all these food reviewers, and I'm just sitting there going like, I don't even trust what they say at this point. I don't know. I just don't really seem to care. That's how nonchalant I just become. It's like whatever. I know the food ain't gonna be great when we order it, so I'd rather learn how to cook it at home than go through a drive-through, and then I'm blowing more money on top of that. But I could save a few bucks by just running to the grocery store, get the ingredients, and make it myself and for my family for the next few days. So I think you're better off doing that now. I think that's what we all need to be doing. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I just want to make this video because this has been bugging me for months, almost half a year now. This has been bugging me. It's just I'm seeing the decline in quality. You know, and I'm the only one that's seeing it. A lot of people are saying it, and then there's several restaurants in my area that shut down. The Applebee's on Brainerd Road shut down. Hooters, a good friend of mine goes there. Him and his son used to go there. It's closed permanently. Those are just matter of fact. That was the only Hooters out of Chattanooga, really. Applebee's has been going out of business for years. I don't know, man. The food quality is so bad here. I wish I can be honest. I mean, I wish I can tell you guys that there are. I say food trucks have it better, but you're better off cooking at home. But what I would do for the time being, just do your own thing. Learn to create your own foods. Learn to cook at home. It's not a headache. It's worth it. At least one thing I can tell you before I end this video, at least you know what you're putting in it. Can you ask a lot of restaurants that? And a lot of restaurants have a disclaimer. Uh, a guy by the name Yash Karar said years ago, there's a disclaimer, there's a description before you enter the restaurant. And I did see one at a Chick-fil-A right around the corner from my house. They have that description. And then my mom and my wife was arguing about the fries. They done changed the fry recipe. I didn't notice it at first, but they said they done did something to the fries. So now we're getting to the point where, you know, I think we hardly go there now. So yeah, best to cook at home, guys. Don't waste any more of your money. I think this is just corporate trying to squeeze as much money by buying out all these organic brands. What are the things that you learned about your favorite restaurant? What would you rather do? Please let me know in the comments below.